on record.
All right, guys, welcome to podcast number 5, Ask Ben podcast. I'm here with my producer, Royce.
How's everybody doing?
So this podcast episode, I went online and I asked some of my Facebook friends if they had any questions. And if you have any questions out there, please send them to my Instagram or Facebook. My Instagram is @CoachBZ, and so is my Facebook, actually. So any of those is fine. All right, this question is from my friend Joseph Lee, and his question is, he basically said, he wanted to know about supplements, right? So I want this to kind of help everybody that has a general supplement question, right? So I will actually frame this question like so. So which supplements should you take for general health, right? This means everybody, right? Everybody should, not should, but may benefit from these supplements, taking them every day, all right? And of course, do you need supplements? No, right? You don't. That's the word supplement should already tell you that you don't need supplements, because that's what it is. It's a supplement to your diet, right? If your diet was perfect, then you don't need supplements, right? However, I'm busy. You're busy, Royce. You got stuff to do.
Yeah.
You can't be eating a perfect diet, right? Like, I don't get tons of greens every meal. It's tough, right? I don't like to eat salads all day. So a lot of the micronutrients, they're missing in my diet personally, right? And we already know what happens if you don't get enough micronutrients, right? I mean, this is probably not evidence, but Brock Lesnar, right?
Yes.
This dude, apparently the rumor is that he never ate a vegetable ever. So that's why he ended up getting that diverticulitis thing.
I believe it.
So yeah, so he just allegedly steroids and meat all day, and so he ended up, his health went to crap.
Sounds like the perfect diet, though.
I used to do that too, to be honest, but no, not anymore. Okay, I had to steer away. So anyway, assuming that you're not eating a perfect diet, right? Which supplements should you be taking for general health? Just supplements you should consider, right? I'm not telling you need to take them. I'm just saying that these are generally regarded as safe supplements that people are usually deficient in, okay? And when you talk about supplements, right, I'm talking specifically right now about supplements like vitamins and minerals types of things, right? And other kind of supplements that have an effect in the body. I'm not really talking about like ergogenic aids of like a steroid type or anything like that. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. There are ergogenic aids out there that are legal that I think are great for sports performance. Caffeine is one of them. We're drinking coffee right now. So that's a different episode. All right. I'm talking about general health. So something that your mother would benefit from taking every day. Okay, and there's a total of 8 in this list. Okay, I'll just start from the first one, right? And there's going to be a lot of debate on these, right? I'm not saying that I'm right on all this, but the first one I would recommend is just a general multivitamin, right? And you want to go with a higher quality multivitamin, in my opinion, right? The stuff that you get like at just the 99-cent store or something is you get what you pay for. So a lot of the forms in there, I guess the elemental forms of the minerals and certain where the vitamins are coming from, they're not the greatest when you buy the cheap kind, right? So a general multivitamin is recommended, right? Just to cover your bases, right? You take multivitamins, Royce?
No, not at all. But I do. This is a question I have going on that. Wasn't that created for military men when they're at war? They didn't get enough nutrients, so they made the vitamins for them?
That would make a lot of sense. I haven't heard of that, but yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Because if you're out in war and you can only eat MREs and things with basically just to keep you alive, you're going to be deficient in a lot of stuff.
Yes.
It's not optimal, right? So yeah, I can see how that could be possible.
Okay.
But yeah, multivitamins. Again, we're not sponsored by any of these brands or anything. I personally take a brand that I've taken for probably over 10 years now. It's called a AOR OrthoCore, and it's kind of hard to find, but it's a high quality a multivitamin, and it's rather expensive. It's like $50 a bottle. It lasts you a couple months. But I'll just recommend pick one that has good reviews, and it's from a trusted source. Okay, you don't want to get this stuff from, like I said, the 99-cent store or the bottom shelf stuff. And again, it's not required, right? There are if you don't take a multivitamin, you'll probably be fine, right? But this is just to cover your bases. Mm-hmm. So this is just something to fill in the gaps, right? So multivitamin, first recommended supplement for general health. Okay, second one, I'm going to go through the vitamins first. Vitamin D. Okay, vitamin D is generally a vitamin that we as in humans are deficient in. Okay, and it's mainly because of sunlight. Right, yes. We don't get enough sunlight, and we're cooped up indoors all day. We have clothes on. We're not absorbing enough. Right. It's something like you have to be. This is off the top of my head here. You have to basically be in your underwear outside for like 10 minutes. To absorb the amount of sunlight to get the sufficient vitamin D levels. Right. If it's just your face, it might take much longer. So do you take vitamin D, Royce?
I'm drinking that Sunny D. That's not real. I'm just joking. I don't drink that stuff.
I don't think that's enough.
The orange juice and the citrus and stuff like that. But
usually you're not going to have enough of I think vitamin D is measured in IUs. So it's a vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. So you do risk storage in your fats. You don't want to overdo it here, but generally I'd say 1,000, 2,000 milligrams a day would be safe. I've gone as high as 10,000 milligrams a day with no ill side effects personally. But again, this is something where you're gonna, stay on the low side, see if there's any changes, and then ramp it up if you need to, right? Get your blood levels checked. Get your your vitamin D levels checked in your blood, and then go from there, right? More than likely, if you do that, you're gonna find a possible deficiency. I have a deficiency, okay, according to my blood work. All right. And now I do know, just a side note, I do know that a lot of the new evidence, the research coming out is that, the test might be a little bit squirrely. It might not be 100% accurate. We might not all be vitamin D deficient, right? I have a good friend, Doc Sauce. I just call him Doc Sauce, but Dr. Saucer, that he works for USC. He's a PhD, and he's told me many times that these vitamin D studies, they don't make sense. There's something going on. Not everybody could be deficient, right? So I am aware of this, okay, but we don't know too much on that side right now. So for now, I'm still going to recommend we supplement vitamin D.
Okay.
In the meantime,
I heard people that are like very dark skin has a lot of vitamin D in their system, and then people with lighter skin tones, they are deficient.
That's true.
I don't know how. All right, so
that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, your absorption is higher, I believe, when you have darker skin.
All right.
Yeah. So far we have vitamin D, we have multivitamins, right? Mm-hmm. Get the higher quality ones. Vitamin D, I don't believe. They sell D2 at the moment, so it's vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is the one you want to get. Okay, vitamin D3. All right, going down the list with more vitamins. Another vitamin I recommend is vitamin C. The reason I recommend vitamin C is because it's there's plenty of evidence that vitamin C boosts your immune system. There's plenty of evidence that vitamin C is good for repairing soft tissue, right? So maybe if you're just a general public individual and you don't do much exercise, you're not really repairing, you're not lifting weights all the time, so you're not repairing all this stuff, but you could at least use some of the benefits of the immune system boost, right? And I believe the current research still supports that. I do remember seeing something recently about vitamin C, not necessarily being as effective as certain other things, but for the most part, it's a water soluble vitamin, and it's safe. So maybe you just spend a little money if it works. Great, you get the benefits. If not, you're just gonna pee it out, right? It's a water soluble. I take about 1,000 milligrams a day. 1,000 milligrams a day. A side note on vitamin C is that every time I get sick or I'm starting to become sick, right, I immediately super load vitamin D and glutamine. Okay, vitamin C and glutamine. Okay. Glutamine, this is not one of the supplements I recommend for general health, but glutamine is one of the sources of fuel for the intestines. So it also boosts the immune system, and one of the first things to go when you get sick is that. So we can possibly get our immune system back to regular function by supplementing vitamin D and glutamine. So in the event that I feel sick, I get a runny nose, I start sneezing, I immediately super load vitamin C and glutamine, usually about 2 to 3 grams of glutamine and about 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C every 2 or 3 hours.
Okay. So is that why, I think if I remember correctly, like apples have a lot of vitamin C, right? Is that correct? Or not?
Citrus usually, but yeah, it should have some vitamin C.
Because I always see like people giving their kids like that type of fruit base when they're sick, or
oranges would probably be better.
Oranges,
but yeah, it's not just a wives' tale. It does have some basis in science. I even read something, like chicken soup. You heard about chicken soup.
Yeah.
There's even something in the chicken soup apparently. I'd have to pull it up, but these things. Yeah. So whoever you saw giving the fruits, they're probably doing the right thing.
Okay.
Plus, it's fruits have a lot of water, and we need to hydrate ourselves when we have an illness. So far we have vitamin C, we have multivitamins, and then we have vitamin D as the recommended. So those 3. Okay. On the sports side of things, vitamin C does help repair soft tissues. So that's an added benefit, right? So if you work out, that's going to help you as well. Going down the list, we got vitamins, and let's go to some minerals. Okay, the first mineral I recommend is magnesium. Okay, magnesium is one of the few minerals of the 24 vitamins and minerals that we are commonly deficient in. Right, so the other one is vitamin D actually. So vitamin D and magnesium I would say are the important ones. Right, magnesium is needed for many functions, of the body, and we're deficient in it. So this is something that we should supplement every day. I have the magnesium pills. I believe they're 200 milligrams, so I take about 2 a day, so 400 milligrams a day. That's what I do personally of magnesium. Okay,
nice.
Helps you sleep, and there's a bunch of other benefits as well. We won't get into the specifics, but just know that's something that you're deficient in, and it's something that your body needs. Okay. When you're talking about magnesium, a lot of times you talk about zinc as well. Okay. This is a side note. Again, this is not one of the 8 supplements that I recommend for general health, but zinc, if you sweat a lot, if you're in an environment where you sweat a lot, humid, or you're an athlete, you likely are going to be zinc deficient as well. You need to supplement zinc, keep those levels adequate. Testosterone, there's some sleep benefits there. So you might need to think about supplementing, 10 to 50 milligrams of zinc every day, as well, right? I'm just going to lump that with magnesium. Okay. There's a common bodybuilding supplement out there called ZMA, and that was, something that was very popular many years ago, and it's a little bit died out. Zinc, magnesium, and I think B6 was it, and that would, if you just got some ZMA, that would take care of both. Okay, all right. So we have multivitamins, we have vitamin D, we have vitamin C, and then we have magnesium. Okay, I want to get to some non-vitamins and minerals now. Okay, so do you take any supplements, Royce?
No, not really. I kind of look at what's in the meal I have and look at what that mineral or vitamin would be.
Okay. So there's certain things that you can get in food, and then there's certain things that you kind of can't, because you have to either eat a specific type of food, or you have to eat so much of a specific type of food that it's not realistic.
Yeah.
Okay, and one of those things is fish oil. Okay, so omega-3 fatty acids, right? So the general advice that I've heard throughout the years is that if you eat fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week, you're okay. Your bases are probably going to be covered.
Okay.
But if you don't, then you should probably supplement with fish oil.
All
right?
Yeah, because I eat salmon like 3 times a week.
You eat salmon 3 times a week?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. How do you eat? Where do you get it? You just cook it?
I buy it either at Costco, get the Atlantic salmon,
Okay.
the wild caught.
All right, wild caught better. Yeah. So unless you're Royce, you eat fatty. It has to be fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week. I would lean toward the 3. You should probably be supplementing with fish oil. And when I say fatty fish, all right, this is a little bit confusing to certain people. Fatty fish means that the flesh is oily. At least that's what I believe the definition is. So salmon is one of them.
Yes.
Mackerel. Let me see. Salmon, mackerel. There's certain types of white fish that are fatty, but for the most part, all white fish, white fleshed fish like cod, fish and chips, stuff like that. They're not fatty fish. They're not oily fish. So you're not getting the omega-3s of the level that you need. So make sure it's fatty fish. Okay, I don't have a full list in front of me, but generally, you want to stick to raw tuna. I believe is a fatty fish. It has to be raw for some reason.
Yeah.
Salmon, mackerel, sardines. I hate sardines, but
me too.
but sardines is a good source. But let's say you can't eat those things, right? Then supplement with fish oil. And the general recommendation for fish oil is about I think it's about 3 grams of the omega-3, right? 3 grams of the omega-3. I've also heard people say it's about 3 grams of the DHA and the EPA, which are the acids inside. But stick to the low side and work up, right? I've seen people take very high doses and be okay, but you don't want to go there usually. You want to stick to the minimum effective dose. Okay, so fish oil, if you're not eating enough fatty fish, is one of the supplements that I recommend for general health. Okay, let's move on. So this next one is a little bit specific, but I do recommend everybody take this. Okay, and it's curcumin. Curcumin is basically what they have in curry. You ever had
curry? I heard curry before.
Yeah, so that active ingredient in there is curcumin. That flavor. Turmeric.
I heard of turmeric.
Is the root, right? Curcumin is the compound.
Okay.
So curcumin is an anti-inflammatory and a very, very potent one, I believe. The research shows that it is a potent anti-inflammatory, especially if you have little joint issues here and there, or if you just are stressed out a lot. Anti-inflammatories are gonna help, right? It's a natural anti-inflammatory. So instead of taking something like ibuprofen that'll just burn your stomach up over time, curcumin's a lot better, right? It's a lot more of a natural remedy. So curcumin is something that I recommend everybody take on a daily basis. It has generally been shown as safe. So I take 500 milligrams a day. Okay, and I'm very active. So for me, I would take it every day. But if you're not that active, curcumin is one of those supplements where I might not do it every day. Maybe 3-4 times a week, something like that. But I don't think there's any contraindications of taking it every day, right? You ever seen that stuff?
Well, I had turmeric before.
Yeah.
So man, that stuff is great. Like I love how when I took about good 2 to 3 weeks, you could feel a difference in your health.
Yeah, like your joints hurt a little less, and it's just It's an anti-inflammatory. So curcumin. All right, we're just almost towards the end here. Got a couple more. The next one I recommend is it's more of a food. Okay, this is more of a food. This is not really a supplement in kind of like in relation to the other supplements because it has a macronutrient value, and it's protein powder. Okay, I recommend protein powder as a general supplement for general health, and the reason is most people are not going to be able to ingest adequate amounts of protein per day. Okay, I don't know who can, but I personally cannot. Okay, if I don't supplement my protein with protein powder or a ready to drink protein shake or something like that, it's very difficult for me to get. I'm about 190 right now, so it's very difficult for me to get 190 grams of protein per day without some kind of meal prep, right?
Yes.
So just drinking protein powder will help you get to that goal, right? So protein powder is something that I recommend. Every day, just have a protein drink, right? Again, it's based on your goals, right? If your goals is to lose weight, and maybe you don't add it, right? Maybe it'll put you over the top. But if it's you want to curb hunger and it's just the middle of the day and you just need some protein powder is great. I think it's great. Whey protein would be what I recommend. Stick to whey protein, all right? The highest bioavailability of protein, pretty much, greater than even eggs. But if you're like me and you can't eat whey protein, I personally can't, then you can stick to something like hemp protein or pea protein or a blend, a plant-based blend, and that's what I do. The brand that I use is, I use several brands, but the one I use right now is Vega. I've used Raw Fusion, it's very good.
I've seen Raw Fusion.
Raw Fusion is very good. Another recommendation by Mr. Alan Aragon. And So True is another one that I like on the pricier side. But yeah, just protein powder, right? Even ready to drinks, right? Ready to drink protein shakes. I believe there's one that I've been using recently called Core Power. I think Core Power. It's like a milk-based one. Okay. For whatever reason, I can drink that. I can't drink whey protein, but milk is okay.
So you're not lactose.
I have something. I have some kind of like whey or whey intolerance or something like that. Okay. So like I am lactose. If I have fettuccine Alfredo, it's over. Okay. Right? Just the bathrooms needs to be replaced. But for whatever reason, certain types of milk products I can take, like ice cream. I could eat all the ice cream in the world and be fine. Right? So it's a little like minor. Okay, we're coming down to the end. Last one I recommend is another one that it's a little. I'm going to get a little debate about this, but is creatine, right? Creatine generally has been seen as a sports supplement, right? Yes. Creatine, right, Royce?
I have a funny story though.
Okay, go ahead.
When I was a kid, my brother's football team, their players will do. Now that I think about it, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But they'll put their creatine inside their hamburgers and eat the hamburgers.
Why?
I don't know.
Creatine's a powder. Why are you eating?
But that's what their O-line and D-line guys were doing. They were eating like
they would just put the powder on the hamburger.
They eat the burger.
Wouldn't you like chew the?
I don't know why they did it, but I just remember seeing that when I was a kid. I was like, man, what are they? I thought it was cool when I was a kid because I looked up to those guys. But when I grew up and I started thinking about it, I was like, who taught these guys that?
That's pretty gross. But okay. Well, I've never heard of that, but usually creatine can be put in anything. Okay? Yeah. And it's not wrong what they're doing. It's probably fine. Mm-hmm. Why you wouldn't dissolve it in water, I have no idea. I personally put my creatine with my daily protein shake, so it's just nice and easy. I used to dissolve it in coffee. It's fine.
That sounds good.
I used to dissolve it in tea. It's easy to dissolve it in hot water, so it's all good. But why do I recommend creatine? Because there's a lot of research nowadays on creatine and general health. There's a lot of research on creatine Alzheimer's, right? It's a way to kind of combat the effects of Alzheimer's. Not to mention, creatine is something that you cannot avoid ingesting. If you eat red meat, you're going to get creatine. Yeah. And it's something that's going to be in your body. It also helps add intracellular water into your muscles. So what does that mean? It means you gain muscle when you take creatine. And what happens when you get older? You lose muscle.
You do.
So I recommend, my mom doesn't listen to anything I say, but I tell her to take about 3 grams of creatine a day. I recommend everybody take about 3 to 5 grams of creatine a day just for general health.
Okay.
Right? The side effects, there's some, right? You get a little stomach cramping initially if you're not used to it. But the stuff on, it causing, liver issues and the general toxicity stuff about it not being safe, those are, creatine is the safest studied supplement probably in the world. Probably the most
It's
most
been around
studied.
forever.
Yes.
That I can remember.
Yeah. And people will say, oh, well, we don't know the long-term effects. People have been taking creatine since minimum the 70s. Probably way before then.
Okay.
That's the first I've heard people take it. And they're still fine. I haven't seen any research that isn't, cherry-picked or like one study out of like 100,000 that will say any negative effects of taking creatine.
Okay.
So even if you don't work out, take it for your brain. Take it for your brain. Take it for your muscles. Take it to fuel your muscles. So that's I'll get a lot of people to tell me otherwise, but I'm going to stick to this one. Okay, creatine is a daily supplement you should take for general health. All right.
Nice. And don't put it in your burgers.
Don't put it in your burger. It's weird. So let's recap the 8. Okay, I'm not going to talk about them again. I'm just going to recap them. 1, multivitamin. All right. 2, vitamin D. 3, vitamin C. 4, magnesium. 5, fish oil. 6, curcumin or turmeric. Protein powder. 7, and 8, creatine. Okay. Nice. One side note on curcumin. Okay. They generally tell you to take curcumin with black pepper or like some kind of a proprietary blend that makes it absorbable. Okay, because usually when you take curcumin by itself, it does not get absorbed properly. Okay, so they tell you to take black pepper with it. Your supplement should have both black pepper and curcumin if you're buying the right ones. Okay, and I'll just throw this out there. The brand that I use is called Doctor's Best. Doctor's Best curcumin. Get it on Amazon. And the creatine that I use, I didn't mention this. The creatine I use is just the Optimum Nutrition, the standard cheapest one that you can buy. Super inexpensive. That's another thing of creatine is it's super inexpensive.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the fish oil that I use is I believe it's called WHO fish oil, and it was one of the higher reviewed ones when I did my research on it. But for fish oil, just stick to the pricier ones. I think is not a bad advice. Okay, usually when you get to like those cheap ones you get at like CVS.
Yeah, they're kind of watered down.
Well, I immediately get a headache and start burping up fish. So you kind of know when you get a bad quality one. Okay, so anyway, that was the recap. So yeah, this is a little longer episode. Any thing to add, Royce?
No, I like everything you went over. And if anybody wants the salmon recipe I make, go ahead and ask Ben the question, and I'll send the recipe over.
Okay, for salmon recipes, go to send a message to at Coach BZ on Instagram. And thanks again to my friend Joseph Lee for asking this question. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.